we have an election crisis. And this crisis was foreseen by our founders at the beginning with their brilliancy. I want to show you what happened in Georgia the other night with Herschel Walker. And I want to use that example to give you my proposal. I have a proposal for America that I believe is the only solution for her future. Because the truth is, if you look at America from sea to shining sea on election night, what do you see? You see red. You can go to the north, you can go to the south, you can go east to west. You will see red all over this nation. And as long as those states have a voice, then we can win the presidential elections occasionally. However, all of that red gets swallowed up by California, New York City, New York, and very few others. So you have the voice of the nation that would not be heard without the genius invention of the Electoral College. Now, the Electoral College was created for the presidency, a federal office. And why? Here's why. Because without the Electoral College, we are running into a situation where the conservatives, the red, we are not reproducing our seed line like those in the metro areas who are of a certain race and a certain mindset, liberals, Democrats. They are having children compared to us 3-1. Their numbers are growing. Illegal immigrants are coming in quicker than any of us can have babies. You know, we have our children. We train them in the ways of conservatism. We train them how the world really works, but we don't have enough of them to win elections anymore. In these population centers, no matter what's happening across the world or the nation, as soon as you hit a population center, all of the voices of the other people are taken away by the density of the population. Our founding fathers feared that. And therefore, they created the Electoral College to where if you ran for office, you had to win a conglomeration of the several states. You had to reach those smaller places, and you had to take their voice into consideration. That's the only way we ever have a Republican president is the Electoral College, because we cannot defeat the illegal immigration. We cannot defeat the population centers without the Electoral College. Now, I said all that to say, let's go to Georgia. Last week on Tuesday night, we were all watching. And what is Georgia? From top to bottom, across the whole thing, what color is Georgia? Why, it's all red, is it not? The entire state is conservatives, all rushing to the polls. They came to the polls that day and blew the numbers out the water. And they were winning their state. They were turning their state in the right direction until they hit that blue area called Atlanta, Georgia. And now, good try, all you great citizens of Georgia. Thank you for coming to the polls, but you have a problem. Your voice doesn't matter because you don't have the majority of the population. So therefore, you really shouldn't have even shown up to vote, because we're going to stop you in the population centers. And I looked across that state and I said, you know what? Everyone in that state is a conservative, except for those 2 blue dots. And that's when it hit me like a stroke of genius. That's what the founding fathers feared for the nation. But what they feared for the nation is happening in the states. The office of a senator is just like the office of the president. It is a statewide campaign. It is statewide. Therefore, I am of the opinion that the only way to save the Senate in the United States of America is that the Senate election should also be done by the Electoral College of a state. In other words, to win the state, you don't just win Atlanta. You go and get 2 votes from that county, 2 delegates from that county, 3 delegates from that county, 5 delegates from Atlanta, the same way. And now the whole state has a reason to vote, and they have a way to vote with. I'm telling you, this is the way it should have been from the beginning. I don't know. The office of a senator is a federal position statewide. Now, not your House of Representatives. That is not statewide. But in a statewide campaign, to only hear from Atlanta, Georgia, and there's no way, I want you to hear me, there's no way to overcome it. There is no way to conquer it without that. So here's what I believe with all my heart. I believe that the Republican legislatures in this nation needs to introduce a bill. They have the right to determine the manner and the times of an election for a federal office. They alone have that power. We need to start a campaign petitioning our state legislatures to create a state electoral college for all statewide federal elections. And there you have it. One day, I don't know when, one day you'll hear someone else say this and someone else. But I believe that's the only solution to ever having fair elections in the states for Senate, for the state senators.